Yeah, this is called To the Surf, this painting. It's just a lone surfer. Again, he's approaching the sea as opposed to coming back from the sea, so I'm building an affinity with what he's actually, his purpose is, and what he's actually going into the water for, and his enjoyment. A very prominent sculpture in just south of Newcastle. With the silhouette shape that the surfer made, it looked as though, because you can't see his arms, it's like a surfing version of the Angel of the North. So it's quite a meditative thing, because you've got a lot going on in your head when you're going towards the water, all these questions, and the adrenaline is flowing and you don't know what's going to happen. So from that point of view, you're sort of lost in thought, and that's why I think a lot of people go out surfing on their own, because part of it is actually that meditative quality and being at one with nature and all that stuff. It's just, it's quite even when you're in the water, it's not like a team sport where everybody pulls together and you have to work together. It's an individual thing, very, very much a lone activity. You've always got a level of anxiety, a little bit of adrenaline flowing, especially if it's quite a big wave. You don't know what's going to happen. Accidents happen in the water. You know, you could get hit by the board. At the same time, you could find the best ride ever. So it's all questions that don't become answered until you come out of the water. But yeah, the difference is that you don't know what sort of surf you're going to get. You could be in the water for half an hour. You might have the best surf ever, or it might just drop off and go flat. It's just one of those things. It's a variable, it's an unknown quantity. So, and you have to think about what you do. You have to prepare yourself, set yourself right in the water to catch that wave. Everything has to be spot on, which comes with experience, but there's still a set of procedures that you have to go through, similarly with painting and techniques, that with experience become easier. And I think that's where the similarities lie, really. I've started paintings and jumped in and very enthusiastically and tried to get too much done too quickly. I think you really have to draw yourself back, and although you try and retain that enthusiasm and vibrancy, sometimes you have to go through the process to make it work. Because if you put too much paint down, or you try and draw too much detail in at the start, sometimes you can get bogged down, it becomes muddy or a little bit confused. Myself reflected through him, actually, yeah, because I think I would have chosen to, well, when I go painting, often I take my board with me anyway, so sometimes I do both at the same time. Being part of that community, I do feel as an affinity with other people that have share the same interests.